So I just got done watching The
You know what
Walking
the
Dead.
worst show I've ever seen is? It's the fucking Walking Dead.
I don't know if you could hear my girlfriend in the background. It's funny. She said the worst show I've ever seen is Walking Dead as I record a Walking Dead review. I disagree, although it's definitely had its low spots and
It's a
definitely
fucking joke.
isn't as good as it could be. Anyway,
What'd you say, Nancy?
okay, so I just got done watching The Walking Dead season 11, episode 11. 11,
Have
11.
I watched it before?
So I think for my spoiler-free part that I try to start off with, I'll just go ahead and say that this episode has probably been my least favorite of the second half of season 11.
The issue I have with it,
I really liked
the issue I have
I
with
really
it is
liked
not even about
the last episode, and then the episode before was just a little bit below New Haunt's the last one. So yeah, this one is the lowest for me. Wasn't bad. I think the problem is the last two episodes were just so good that this one comes out to be just a regular, okay, episode. So yeah, so not bad. So let's go ahead and break down the things that I thought about it as I was going through. I got some notes here. First off, they really just sped run the relationship between Stephanie and Eugene. Eugene is not a virgin anymore. I think we can assume they were just laying in bed together, right? So, wow. Now maybe Eugene wasn't a virgin before, but I'm pretty sure Eugene wasn't. We haven't seen him since we've been with him in the apocalypse. Be with any girls? I was trying to think. Back at Negan's factory, he almost got with those girls that came in with him, it seemed like, but they didn't do anything. So yeah, as far as we know, Eugene was a virgin, I'm pretty sure, right? So, okay, yeah, so that's why he, obviously being as old as he was, sorry about the background noise, she's playing games, obviously, as old as he is, not being in a relationship, he's going to fall hard, which he did, and so it's sad to see how it plays out for him. But yeah, it moved kind of fast. A lot of things with this Commonwealth thing are kind of moving quick, which I'm glad about because the first half in part one felt unnecessarily slow with a bunch of filler, and now it seems like we're just getting the stuff as we need to, doing time skips or whatever it may be to get to the important stuff. So let's see. Eugene, he's still wearing his lame shirts. He's got his dumb barbecue shirt on in the beginning, like a souvenir shirt. I like how they keep little traits like this of the characters, true to who they are. And yeah, the Commonwealth continues to prove some more interesting things that we haven't seen before in an upgraded community like Alexander or something like that, with getting the lawyers in here, the nurses and their scrubs, badges, to get into places and ringing the doorbells or whatever for the locked doors. Just things like that are cool to see. Let's see. So there were some sign language scenes. I'm going to have to go back and try to see if I can watch this somewhere else, because I do watch this episode a week early because of the AMC Plus thing. But I don't have AMC Plus. I watch it from a ripped website. So some of the sign language stuff, or all of it, didn't have subtitles for me. I don't know if it was supposed to. I would think so. Between Connie and her sister, I can't think of the name of right now, Kelly. But so I might have missed a lot of stuff there, or not. And if they just didn't do subtitles, then that's strange. But anyway. This episode was directed by Michael Cutlitz, so it's cool that the actor who plays Abraham is still around and involved in the show, and it makes sense he would direct this one because it was really Eugene focused, and of course that was his his buddy character he was really close with. Let's see. They had a cool zombie kill in here. It was like a zombie where its whole face had been peeled off, so it was just the skull. Like I said, like I've said before, they always have new ways of doing new zombie kills. Or new looking zombies in the show, even on season 11. We've probably seen a zombie similar to this, but still it's just something fresh and interesting. So Lance surprised me in this episode. People may think that I'm crazy. I don't know how the general audience is going to feel about Lance, but I didn't think he was so bad in this episode. He didn't really seem like the weasel type that he seemed like before, where he's just, an appearance man, but behind the scenes he's some slimy coward or something. I do like his interactions with Carol. He's one of those people that, if you get to know him, they're not so bad, but like if you're in a group setting, you're like, wow, you're a dick. I like you better whenever I'm alone with you. I'm sure we've all known somebody like that. And that's kind of how Lance strikes me, because he didn't seem so bad, like I said, with Carol. They have some lines in here. They keep calling the Commonwealth a city. It doesn't feel like a city. It feels like a small town. But again, I was looking at some pictures of the Commonwealth in the comics, and some of this stuff, the street parts that we see, are comic accurate to a T. You know, it just still feels like we need a pull-out shot at some point. Maybe we will for the very series finale. You know, a pull-out shot of like the city. I don't know, but yeah, it just needs one of those added in there. I think that's all it would really take, because we did get that in the comic. I think I remember a big cityscape. Maybe not, but yeah. But no, I think they do a lot of what they can with keeping some of it accurate to the pictures, like from the comic. So anyway, they had some nice cinematography, or I guess a pan over shot between a transition wherever Lance and Carol are coming up to the drug dealer place. There's like a cool camera shot that pans over the field. That was just a nice touch that they did there. I like that. Drug dealers in Walking Dead now, it's kind of cool. But I do like that they add layers to this, like where are they getting their hospital supplies after all these years? Okay, they know somebody who grows opium, poppy, whatever. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is, but I know it's something that used to be used for painkillers back in the day and still is, I guess, probably. So yeah, it's cool they have their own drug dealer manufacturers in here, you know. I like seeing that as a little side plot. And I also like the way that well, I'm kind of skipping ahead. Let's see. I'll just go ahead and say it. I like the way Lance brings Carol along to work through this, and the reason Carol's able to work through it is you can kind of assume she was a victim of domestic violence before, and we get the gist that these women, they didn't really show it that well. I don't know why they didn't want to they kind of just alluded to it. It took some figuring out, to me anyway. A lot of mystery in this episode, but Carol kind of says, you know, that the guy is taking their money and beating them to get them to work for free, I believe. So slaves, right? These women, and they're getting abused is what I think Carol picked up on. But it's cool because, like I said, Carol used to be abused. That's not cool. It's cool that they used her in that way. Let's see. Princess, I really like Princess's character. I've been saying that, especially compared to her comic counterpart. This episode is no different, utilizing her in a nice way. I think they could have used Rosita for this part too because she's close to Eugene, but they kind of had Rosita in there, kind of give him a pat on the back, but she's busy, she's working, so she just kind of patted him and went on and used her where she needed to be used, you know, investigating with Rosita. But then Princess is that buddy to Eugene in this episode really nicely. You know, it has some funny lines here and there, not too annoying, when she's talking about, I want a small cat, or you know, I want this, and this is gonna mess that up. Yeah, and they always have her wearing like a little bit of pink just to keep her accurate to her comic part. So yeah, she's a nice new addition and is working my way up there to be one of the favorites, with her only have been around for just a little bit, you know, and I already like her a whole lot. So they're doing good with her character and the actress as well. Okay, so Mercer, intimidating as fuck. This actor is just committing to this role. The writers want to make him intimidating. He's just, yeah, he's great. Fucking super soldier. Even his fucking car is like beefed up and scary. Yeah, Mercer is, yeah, he's not to be fucked with. He just gives off that persona really well. Leaps right off the comic pages, even more so. Damn, they really do a good job with casting on The Walking Dead. Let's see. I'm not sure. This is my overall complaint, I think. I'm not sure if I like the noir style. Angela Kang even said that she wanted to do with the noir style, whatever you call it. Like the edits and the mystery music and stuff. It is something different. I'm just not really a fan of that. I do like comedy stuff and different stuff in Walking Dead here and there. This particular thing didn't really work for me, mainly because I think you had more of an opportunity to feel for Eugene a little bit, because of course he's been around for a while and we like his character now, and this is a tough situation for him to be in, and they kind of made it a little bit comedic. I mean, not that Eugene was, I mean, he was really fucking tore up, but yeah, I didn't really like that kind of campiness that they added to it. It just felt strange, personally. So yeah, I didn't hate it. It's just like, you know, it didn't land with me like what I would have liked it to. They call it an apocalypse for once. Lance calls what they're in an apocalypse. I don't know if I've heard them say apocalypse. Like, they didn't say zombie apocalypse. They said apocalypse. And like I said, they haven't. It just sounded strange. Anyway, Yeah, I wanted more zombie kills from Mercer. It felt like some of that got cut or what, but Mercer was covered in blood. He only split one zombie in half, so I assume there was a lot more combat going on with Mercer before that. I feel like it was definitely something that was like a deleted scene that they had cut, but I would have loved to see Mercer go just ham on some zombies. Still hoping we get that because, yeah, he's, yeah, intimidating, man. I would love to see that. Oh, and the Commonwealth suits, they seem like if you had a Commonwealth soldier getting attacked by a zombie like we saw in this episode, what would be the problem with that? They're, 100% shielded. Well, these masks can get brought up and hinder your visibility. They thought it through. They're like, how can we make these Commonwealth soldiers have a weakness? Well, there we go. Visibility. So they did, like I said, they're skipping around time just to get to the story beats that we need to. They did a month time skip in this episode. They revealed Milton's secretary is Mercer's sister. That was a cool reveal. I don't think we knew that. And then also Stephanie, like girlfriend, Eugene's going to be in some trouble dating Mercer's sister. Damn. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's see. There was a line in here, back in the early days, whenever we thought this was all going to blow over. I felt like that was a little bit of a self-aware line, but maybe not. Eugene's talking about back in the early days. He wanted to be a book writer or something. And, it reminds me of the COVID situation or even the war that's going on right now or about to go on. It's the early days. We thought it was going to blow over, and look at us now. We're 3 years into the pandemic still. Yeah. Let's see. I already talked about Carol recognizing domestic violence. I like how Princess' backstory from those COVID episodes kind of spills over into this, so that way people can skip those episodes if they want to, because a few of them were pretty bad. I didn't mind the Princess episode too bad, but yeah, there were a few stinkers in there for sure, one or two. So yeah, I like the way that her story connects with Eugene. Like she lost her dad and he lost Stephanie. What did Eugene say to her in this line? Josh McDermott whispered something. He was like, "There's one piece of information that you don't know about all this," and then I swear to God, he just barely moved his mouth. He was just like that. I have no idea what he said. I really needed subtitles for this episode, clearly. So then we get to the reveal that I think this whole storyline was brought upon the whole miscoloring of Stephanie in the comics at one point, I do believe, which is cool, right? I like that. So you get the black Stephanie and the white one, or Hispanic, whatever she is. But so all this time, it's really confusing, and I'm gonna need this explained more, I think, or maybe I'm just not understanding. But so they used a fake Stephanie, the black Stephanie, to talk on the phone to Eugene. But then whenever Eugene came, they used somebody else to kind of lure him in, because the black one couldn't do the over the phone and the luring. Was she in it on the radio too? And then so they were both tricking him. But then she comes to him maybe because she feels bad for tricking him at the end of the episode, the real Stephanie, if she's even really Stephanie. And then the Hispanic Stephanie or white Stephanie, whatever, just doesn't feel bad. She could have just, or doesn't really like Eugene, so she was trying to ease him off by sleeping with him. I don't know. It's all pretty confusing, to be quite honest. I mean, I understand it, what they're telling us. It just doesn't make sense, yet. Maybe we'll get more from the black Stephanie next episode, and it'll make more sense. But you follow my process here. Why did they need two people to do this? I think they're trying to do like a trick, but they also want Eugene to have a real love interest in the black Stephanie, so they kind of had to, it gets a little messy there. Anyway, yeah, and they had a little bit of static over the scene where she gets revealed, which is a weird touch, but nice touch at the same time, because from the radio, when she's talking at the end. So yeah, next episode looks. But yeah, that was this episode. Next episode looks pretty good. Pretty packed with all the storylines. Back to a head, because we didn't see Daryl in this episode, or Ezekiel and Magna, Yumiko, characters like that. So yeah, that was this one. Not bad. Just Oh, and I want to say Josh McDermott. I don't know if his acting was like was good or bad at the end. It felt overdone whenever he's talking to Lance. Oh, and I might have not touched on this. It felt overdone when he's talking to Lance, but at the same time, like a nerdy guy like that probably would kind of have those kind of awkward, like outburst emotions. He's maybe a little bit autistic or something. I don't know. So yeah, it was either really good or just I don't know. It felt a little bit overdone. But I think Josh McDermott mostly did a really good job in this episode. But the crying at the end felt a little bit. But like I said, for a guy like that, it probably makes sense. So Lance's whole speech here too. What I was gonna say, where I feel cruel, I can't help but agree with the guy. I mean, all that he's saying, albeit he's coming across a little heartless and cold, but he really has just helped them. At the end of the day, and at the end of the day, this is really the best that they could probably have it anywhere nearby. So they were starving, and yeah, that's what happened. He lied to them, but they're not being kept there. They're free to leave. It was a cold, mean trick. He tried to let him off easy, tried to cover it up to spare his feelings. So I'm not totally looking at Lance like a villain. Like I feel like the plot or the writers may want me to, or maybe it's just my mindset of there's a villain in every season. Every season has a villain, but this is more of a gray area where it's like, I mean, have to see how it plays out. But yeah, some of the Commonwealth too. They're trying to keep the world as much like it used to be, but you can't pick and choose what you want from how it used to be, to how it is now. Like whatever they're doing, suppressing these soldiers for their freedom of speech or whatever it is like that. Like you can't do that either, if you want this to be like America, you know what I mean? So there's certain aspects of it that need to be tweaked for sure. The Commonwealth's not perfect, but it's not like this horrible thing like what the group or what Eugene was acting like he was going to expose it to be. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got to say. Commonwealth is a formidable force, though. The more we see of their like military and structures and things they have in place, I've heard people talk about, the Commonwealth versus the CRM. We can see that, and I've always been like, no, that's not going to happen. But maybe, maybe. I don't know what they're going to do with this whole Walking Dead universe thing. But anyway, let me know what you thought of the episode. And yeah, I'll see you for a review next week. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a good week.
I can't.